Hey everyone, how you doing? I think we are now live. I'm just going to double check because you know what? Whenever I go live, there's always a bit of a wobble with regards to um, how things connect. And sometimes I think I'm live and I don't even know if I actually am live. So if anyone is watching, please just drop a comment in so I know that you are definitely watching. It's going to drop one in here. Hey, friendly girl. I've just seen. Hey, how you doing? Right, so hopefully the comments will, yep, there you go. Comments are now feeding in through absolutely fine. So I'm going to wait for a few more people to turn up before we get on to today's topic, which is very much going to be about the elemental pricing and the changings, the good, the bad, and the ugly over that. I've been very hard at work today on a client's website where they've got a lot of changes. It's one of those things where the changes, you kind of go, I wish I'd known about that at the time. But because the project doesn't end until tomorrow, I'll give them a bit of leeway and go, okay, fine, I'll make all of those, but I won't be doing it over and over again. Hey Jake the dog, hey Maddie, hey Peter, and by the way, I want to say big thanks to Peter for pointing out that I actually went and set this for 11:30 p.m. I went and put p.m. in. How did I make that mistake? Thank you for pointing that out. Hey Jake, do you know something? It's starting to get very confusing. I was looking at Turkey when I wasn't so keen because a lot of the resorts in Turkey, a lot of them are like 2 hours away from the airport. And I'm like, I'm going to get 2 hours at the airport, then 4 hours on the plane. Then you got to get out of the airport and then another 2 hours before you get to the resort. And I was like, I cannot be asked with that. So now I started looking at maybe Portugal, the same problem. A lot of the resorts are like an hour and a half or 2 hours away from the airport. So now I'm looking at Mallorca. And I'm just because I have an 8-year old son and I know what he's like, you see, because he does have ADHD. So I know what he's like. I don't want to be like 2 hours waiting at the airport. Then you get your flight. Then you got to check out. Then you got to like another hour and a half or 2 hours to get to the resort. And then by that time, it might be late at night. So that one day is kind of taken away. You get there, go to sleep. Well, that was a waste of a day, right? So I'm trying to like have a look at that. Friendly Girl says, heck, I was a bit angry about Elemental. Customers you buy the license are really at a disadvantage now. You do make a good point there. So I'm going to wait for a few more people to pop in. And then I will start commencing everything that we're going to be doing. Mallorca is very good for vacation. I'm looking at the first week of April. So April the 1st to maybe 4 nights, I think. Mainly because it's quite pricey, I have to say. I was surprised. The prices are quite high. Turkey, I mean, when you look at prices, Turkey is actually relatively cheap. Canary Islands, I was thinking about that, but then Canary Islands as well, Lanzarote, sorry, that was it. So I was looking at between Lanzarote and Mallorca kind of thing. Because my son is 8 years old and he likes going to the beach, it's like I've got to try and make sure there's enough for him. But anyway, Mallorca. But yeah, it's so annoying that so many of these resorts are like 2 hours away from the airport. Does anyone else hate that when you go on holiday and you get there and then once you're there, you've gone through all the flight and then it's like another hour and a half or 2 hours transfer. And that's on a good day. What if you hit traffic, right? And it's whatever. Hey, Dave. Okay. So I am now going to add this to the scene and I'm going to make myself be a little bit smaller. And we are going to talk about the topic that has obviously got a lot of interest. Make sure this is all viewable on the screen, okay? I guess let's talk about this. Let's expand on the screen so you can all read it a little bit better. So Elemental have obviously gone and changed things around a bit. Oh, Friendly Girl says Tenerife is best in your case. during school vacation, it's ridiculously expensive. And yes, yeah, the transfers, right? So you think Tenerife is a better choice then, do you? And is there a lot to do? Anyone out there that's been to Mallorca, Lanzarote, or Tenerife, can you please let me know that as a family, not just for him, but for me as well, I don't want to sit on the beach. I want to be looking at things. I also want to be able to relax and do some work as well. I don't want to just sit on the beach, with my boxers off. I don't want to do any of that. Okay, right. So Elemental have basically now said that from December the 4th, I think it is, they are going to make some changes to the plans. There's going to be a lot of people that are on the essential, like clients. A lot of them would have gone, hey, I just need one website. A lot of us, though, whether you're a freelancer or an agency, have probably got like an expert or an agency. I've got the agency. I got it when it was $199. I know people that got it for $99. And then they went and changed the price about 2 years ago, I think it was, to $399. So for those of us that are on the agency, we're kind of not going to be bothered. We're going to be like, hey, we're okay. We're happy. We are good to go. Dun, 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 dun. We're good to go, right? But those that are on the essential, they're probably going to get a bit of a rude awakening right now with what's going on over here. So let's just very quickly skim through what are the major differences. Obviously, like custom code, custom CSS. Now, these are pretty big ones, I think. You're not now going to get the custom CSS, even with an Elemental Pro license. That's quite major, I think. Hugely major. Right, Friendly Girl says, I used to be a travel agent 20 years ago. Gran Canaria is good if you want action. Well, I'm just going to quickly just zip out for a moment into my normal mode. So, bloop. I'm not really into clubbing anymore. I'm 45 now. I'm not really into clubbing anymore. So, in terms of action, as long as there's stuff to do, I'll be okay. Dave, are you on agency or expert? I am on the agency, so I've got 1,000 licenses. So the old one was the expert, but either way, I'm okay, but I still have 1,000 licenses. Right, back over to this. Right. So, for me, this is a biggie. The custom code, because before you had to go to Pro to be able to use the custom code. You can obviously do it via other methods. You could install a plugin, you could use your theme, you could always get around it. But if you wanted to do it with inside Elementor, the custom code thing was a really, 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 really big thing. Peter, what is the price for breakdance? Can you elaborate, please? Can you just clarify what is the price? Okay, right. So, form submissions, form integrations, unlimited pop-ups, and all of this has got. I think this here, form submissions and pop-ups are the two biggies. That's a big one, right? You now aren't going to have that. There's going to be loads of websites out there whereby they have those features. And now all of a sudden, if that's the license they got, they're going to get hit by this. So you're going to have to go and pre-warn your clients now, or give them notice. You can't just say, well, I'll let them find out and then they come to me. Hey, Marky Mark, you now are going to have to kind of let them know. By the way, if anyone does want to join in the conversation, you can do. What I am going to say, though, for the purpose of the conversation, no matter how angry you are, we've got to kind of contain the frustration, because like there will be other people watching and stuff like that. And I don't want anyone to now start going Roar! And all of this and getting too angry or gesticulating at the screen. ACF and pods integration. Again, you now will not be able to use those kind of dynamic fields unless you have gone to the advanced expert or agency plan. That's kind of a bit of a pain. Hey, Mark, you're right, mate.
Yeah, a bit tired, but I'm good.
Do you know something? I'm just going to let you all know now, even though you don't have to worry. I felt the start of a migraine half an hour ago, and I've gone and had 2 tablets, and that's never a good sign. So I'm hoping I can fight it off.
Well, you were working at the same silly time as
if I start looking glazy-eyed, I'll cancel the live chat.
Right, what's this we're looking at?
So this is the changes with the Elementor subscription plan. So they've announced that from December the 4th, what you would normally get with the basic Elementor Pro license for $59, there's going to be quite a lot of stuff cut out. So for instance, you won't be able to do custom code now unless you go for a higher plan, the Advanced, the Expert, or the Agency. You also
Okay.
can't do form submissions or unlimited pop-ups. Does that mean you can do one pop-up though? You know, when they say unlimited. You also can't use your ACF fields. You know, when you go to do your dynamic tag,
Mm.
you now can't do that as well. So you also can't do PayPal and WooCommerce Builder. So a lot of the cart, the checkout, all of that is moving, and
Oh,
it's
hang on. They've
yeah.
got one wrong way round.
Which one?
Team collaboration and management. Just swap the V's the other way, so you get it for the basic price, but they take it out for those who are paying more.
Yes, the notes. Yes, yeah. Jay, just give. Yeah, we're not
Get rid of
fussed.
that.
That's not really a selling point, is it? The notes one. No, we're not fussed by that. That being said,
Right.
though, I did use the notes for the first time 3 days ago on a client's website just to make a point to them, and it actually was. I'm not going to lie, it was flipping useful just to say, "What the hell are you talking about?" kind of thing.
Uh,
Now, I think that
right.
I'm
Okay.
going to look at it from a business point of view now. Okay, I'm not defending Elemental here. I want to make that clear. From a business point of view, they've probably realized, right, we're giving away a ton of stuff for $59. And if we compare ourselves to, say, Bricks, Breakdowns, or other page builder, theme builder plugins, they're thinking, well, why don't we push to $99 to get everything? So from a business point of view, I get it. From a
Oh, hang on. Number of widgets.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think what they
Wow.
mean is like, you know, the
It,
WooCommerce stuff you won't
oh,
have.
yeah, that won't be in there. Okay.
Other stuff as well. You might not get heading, text, image, or video or containers. They'll probably be removed as well. Something stupid. I'm just gonna get rid of the screen over here. Hey, Jake, you're back again. How you doing?
Good. How are
Nice
you
one.
guys?
M, the master of destruct. Wow, flipping it.
Mm.
These names are getting more and more funkier each time we go on. So, from a
Yeah.
business point of view, I can see what they're doing. But because if they were a brand new plugin or they just come out and they were testing the water, I get it. Because
Uh,
they've been out. Sorry, go on, Mark.
just going to say, is there a note further on that people with existing licenses are grandfathered?
Right, I've got to remind myself because there was something. I'm just going to double check. So it says going forward when you put. No, wait, hold on. Going forward, when you purchase the new Elemental Pro Essential, you will have all the features you need. No, there was something in the email. I need to dig it out. It did say something about if anyone can double check, because there was something in there about the grandfather in bit.
Mm.
So I'm just double checking. I'm going to share the screen again.
Okay, just looking at some of the comments, I would agree, but the forms are formulated. Yeah, okay, you can use a different form plugin,
Yeah,
but why would you
absolutely.
want to add more plugins? Morning, Dave.
So Dave
Yeah,
says they are grandfathered.
their code, their code implementation. What was it I didn't like about it? Oh yeah, it loaded the Google Analytics tag on your admin pages. Just loads everywhere, or it did. So I stopped using it years ago.
Do you know what? I think it was in an email. I read it somewhere and I just can't. Oh, here we go. If you let me just zoom in on this. If you have a valid essential subscription, you keep your subscription with all the features at no additional cost. You'll still be able to renew your subscription upon expiration while keeping all the features. So what they're saying is any new features really oh, I get it now. So any new features released in the future, you might not get those.
Ugh, right.
Right. So you can almost say that if you've got an existing client right now and they've got that, you're okay. But if they went and brought out like a brand new super WooCommerce feature, you won't get that. Now, arguably, when you think back to loads of your clients, the bulk of mine, very rarely do we go, oh, we're going to add in a new feature for you. Normally, it's just maintain the status quo and make sure things work, make sure the sales are working, make sure their emails are working, make sure nothing's gone down.
Can I have your clients, please?
Yeah, I mean, it's like look, how many of your existing clients have you switched from section to containers?
Oh, well, only if I wanted to do it for my own benefit.
Yeah,
Things
or
like putting buttons side by side. It's so much easier to throw in a
yeah.
container and do it.
The only time I've done it is for a few whereby we were using like another plugin for because their blog had to be a certain way. So I then switched them out and used a loop grid instead. But even then, the entire website was still section. All I did was activate it and use the container just for the loop grid bit.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to rebuild the website.
I've not
So
rebuilt anybody's site from scratch.
no, I mean, I know some people that have, and I often kind of go, why? You didn't
Too much
really
time.
need to. Yeah, pain in the ass as well.
Yeah.
So I think knowing that you're existing kind of takes away the pain a little bit. So what it is saying is for new people, this is how it is. So from a business point of view, I kind of get it. This is no doubt going to see a slog of videos going out. I did consider, should I put out a video or not? And then I thought, well, there's going to be so much noise. I'm at the minute in Elementor's good books as well.
So let's just stop and think about this for a second.
Yeah.
So firstly, you've got the Lewis from Breakdance point of view. If your business can't afford $99 a year, why are you in business? Okay, we'll ignore that because that's just arrogance. And then we've got I've got an agency license grandfathered in at their old price.
Yeah.
And I just use that for all my clients. Who's this really going to hurt? Well, it might hurt the Fiverr developers who are building sites for $50.
It might hurt them, but do you know something?
For most of us, this is a non-event, isn't it?
Exactly. And to be honest, to be brutally honest, and again, anyone here who falls into this category, I'm not trying to like attack you or anything, but the bulk of the people on Fiverr don't even use Elementor Pro. They use Elementor and about 4 or 5 add-ons. And those that do use Elementor Pro, they either go and get a GPL license or buy it from someone, or they say our clients don't want to pay it. And I often go back to them and say, well, then your client probably doesn't understand. You didn't explain it well enough. I have worked with people where the money was tight, but when you explain to them why they need to get an Elementor Pro license and the benefits of it, they always go to it. And for me, it's the same old thing with anything you buy, right? You know, I went and got the Mac Mini M2 when it came out in, when was it? March time, I think it was. Why? Because it was a more powerful machine, great for editing, and I get 4 USB-C ports, whereas my MacBook Air only had 2. And one of the ports on there stopped working, so I only had 1 functional port. So when I
haven't got enough fingers for the number of ports on my PC.
but it's like, you know, when you look at anything, you know, whenever you go and buy a computer, you could, if you want, if your budget's not good, you could go and buy something for a couple of $100. But then don't complain if you can't use RTX ray tracing for Minecraft or whatever, or you haven't got the right capacity or speed or RAM or whatever. So often I do think that, like, you know, it is a bit of a non-event.
Okay, so Friendly Girl saying, I agree with you generally, but for small websites, e.g. self-publishing authors, or any small... Actually, yeah, no, I built a website for a self-publishing author. There are lots out there. Trust me, this hurts. I guess we're assuming self-publishing author is also building their own site, because again, as a developer, I don't want to have this conversation. Well, this is the price, but then you've also got to pay for this plugin. This, no chance. My price will include everything, and I host all my client sites. So if I know I've got yearly subscriptions as part of that build, their yearly hosting price, I just give them 2 figures. I'm not going to confuse the issue.
One of the ways I do get around it, and by the way, I think a lot of you know that I don't like doing monthly maintenance plans that much anymore, because I get fed up of like requests that come in. But when I know someone is struggling, I will let them know that, look, okay, you can have one of my agency licenses. You still got to pay for it. you pay a little bit more on top of the $59 or whatever, but then that means you just pay monthly. So it's the 59 plus about 20-25% split over 12. So if you're a bit worried about the income for it, you pay monthly. If after 6 months your business goes down or you decide you don't want to do this anymore, fine, you just pay up to that point. You don't pay for the full year. You just pay monthly. And if you want to now go, right, forget it, fine. I just remove the license, job done. Because I've got plenty of licenses. So for those of you that have like an agency plan, I mean, come on. I think I just about hit 100 licenses are now actually in use out of the 1,000 I have.
I've probably got more than that, but it's like something dot, for this experiment or this state, something, I could use whatever it's called to make those quick sites and do it. But yeah, I've got so many subdomains.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'll say it again, if I'm sending out a quote for a job, I'll spec the job, I'll work out what I need to do it, and I'll give them a price for the job. And then because I run my own cloud servers, I'll give them a price for hosting, and that'll also include how much it's costing me for my Zapier or Pabbly yearly subscription that I pay.
Yeah.
How much am I paying for Run Cloud for the server control panel? How much am I paying for Postmark or Brevo or SendGrid? And I'll look at that. I'll look at my number of clients, and I'll just think of a number for the yearly hosting. How often am I going to have to log in and do updates? There you go. Yeah,
I'll tell you one of my strategies, and it's always one that I've done and it's always worked, is whenever you have the new financial year, April kind of thing, I always make sure that whatever income I get for April in terms of maintenance plans, I'm not talking about website builds, but whatever I get for that 1 month must be enough to cover all the year's worth of licenses and stuff I have. So I know I'm covered for the next 12 months, and it always is. So you don't have to worry about it. Jake, or M, the Master of Destruction, what have you got any thoughts towards I mean, Artif says that Elementor are getting battered, and I think like the discussion we've just had, when you draw into it, it's not as bad as what I think. I mean, when I've spread the email, and I know a few other influencers on a separate private place we have, everyone was like, oh my God, what's going on? And then even I was like, oh no, is this going to cause a major problem? But when you really get into it, you kind of go, it's not too bad. But do you have any thoughts, Jake?
Personally, since I'm not working with like the agency hosting, at least at the moment, I'd say, as far as I can see it.
Oh, cool. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, cool. No problems, Mark.
I personally say, in a way, it could affect certain people a lot, and I'd say it wouldn't affect as much the developers that are using the agency plan and everything. But personally, since I've been using, I think, the normal plan, like the pro plan, that I can use the plugins, as far as I can see it, if I don't get any new features at the moment, it's fine, since I have everything I need. Of course, I would say a thing that I would have liked to see was, again, multiple taxonomy filters, which I think they mentioned about 3.18. But then again, I mean, for my case, since it's a website that has products and everything, I personally see as well, because it doesn't need to be too complex in certain aspects. I think you can work around either. The one choice is using another plugin, of course, and the other choice, I'd say, is maybe
We've been invaded.
Hello.
Hi guys.
So I don't know. Artip obviously works with Code Snippets, long-time friend, long-time nuisance. Never ever has he bought me a lamb biryani, even though we've never actually met face to face. Still waiting for it. But no, I think I mean it is like
run me over.
If you're okay with the current features, you won't really see an issue. So, but Artif, go on. What's your viewpoint, Artif?
Yeah, just before, I just want to say, I might cough quite a bit. I'm a bit under the weather today. I think.
Hold on, I'll mute you. No.
Yeah, I thought I'd jump on just because of the topic. And hey, Mark. I think when on the outset, it can upset it has a lot of people straight away, oh, you're going to put your price up 59 to 99, and why are you doing it? I think there was one good suggestion that someone made, like why not keep everything as it is and just have an additional plan which is more stripped down what you want to do, keep it bare bones, and make that a little bit less, or
do you know something? That's a really good point, and I think that is similar to, you know, when the whole Louis thing kicked off, me and Paul, you know, when we were having a bit of back and forth with Louis about how he didn't have a single price license at the time for breakdance. And I kept saying, why don't you just do a single one and you remove loads of features? No one's going to get upset. So remove all the WooCommerce. And if you want the WooCommerce, you go up to the normal price plan. And then in the end, he did go for a single license because he kind of caved in on that a bit. But I think that if Elementor were going to do this, where they have that, where we have loads of stuff stripped out, like the custom CSS, the ACF, and all of that, there
all
are
the form stuff.
Yeah, there are so many websites out there where that never use dynamic fields like ACF, right? There's no WooCommerce. It's like Friendly Girl just said, author websites, they won't have WooCommerce. They'll have a button that takes you to Amazon or bookstore or whatever. So I think they could have done a version that was like, I don't know, $29, 39, you know, 29, something like that makes it even more affordable for people. And I think that would have gone down really, really well. I think the other thing I do wonder though, and if anyone from Elemental's watching, I'm not digging a hole for myself because I know I'm in your good books at the moment, but a week before Black Friday to announce this, it's like what? Kind of like, what? You know, when did you know about this kind of thing?
I think they knew they were, you know, going to know we're going to change the plans and we're going to increase. It's going to upset people. It's going to annoy people. So timing is definitely one thing, and maybe I think it could have been thought out a bit better.
I mean, that being said, though, to be honest, though, I mean, in the last couple of weeks, Netflix have increased their price, Disney Plus have increased their price. Everyone is doing it, so you can almost say, well, option one was that they increased to $59 full stop, like they did last year when they went up by $10. Here they've just said, we'll leave it at that, but we're going to shift it a bit. I'd love to have been in the room when they were making these decisions, just like
how if I can say something, Imran. You know, I was actually I did a podcast earlier this week with WP Builds. They do this podcast every Monday, right? And we were talking about this kind of topic in general, about pricing and WordPress. And you know, when WordPress kind of started out and they had plugins and themes, and then when people first started charging, they were like, whoa, you know, you want me to pay for a plugin? You want me to pay for a theme? Like, no, that's just crazy. But now, if you look at it, some plugins and some themes, they're charging like $600, $700, $800 a year. So it's like, I think definitely we're in this space where pricing in general is a bit still not used, but everything else pricing is going up and we don't really question it too much. We say, okay, it's going to go up. But in WordPress specifically, or in our platform, we're just like, no, no.
Do you know?
It's a weird deal.
There is one plugin where and the person who's behind this plugin, if you get to hear of this, please don't take offense, but I hope you take this on board. But there is one plugin I hear about every week where I feel like it is massively overpriced. Which plugin do you think I'm talking about? You're not going to get it, but which plugin is, when I say massively overpriced, it is so overpriced. It's ridiculous. Wow. I'm talking about Presto Player.
Oh, how much do they charge? I don't even know. How much do they charge?
I've actually forgotten. I think it's $2.99. So right now they're running a 50% discount. So, you know, if you get the WP Weekly newsletter, by the way, the WP Weekly newsletter is brilliant. It's probably the best newsletter I get every Monday. I love opening it, reading it. If I could, I'd print it out and like lick it, but can't be bothered to buy a printer. But every week for the last, 2-3 months, it says Presto Player, 50% discount. You can get it for $299 a year. You tell me who's going to pay $299 per year. And what does it do? it makes your videos not be branded. Well, guess what? I pay $5 a month to Muse to have unbranded videos. Like, why would you pay $299? Like, seriously, I just don't get
What
it.
do you mean unbranded? What
So
do
you
mean
know
unbranded?
Presto
So it
Player,
doesn't have like,
right?
yeah, I've never used it to be honest. I don't even know about
Yeah,
it.
I used it when it first came out, and I was impressed. But then the cost was a whole lot lower. So if you have a YouTube video and you use Presto Player, what it does is it hides the fact that you have YouTube. You know, the branding for YouTube in the bottom of the top and the title. Yeah, and it also means that if someone right clicks the video, they can't get the URL for the YouTube video.
Can you host your video with them, or is it just for showing the video?
It's just for showing.
Oh my god, is that it?
That is it. So if you now want it,
so
if you want to have it ultra quick, you got to go via Bunny CDN. If you want to get subtitles, you got to go via Bunny CDN and also a load up your subtitles because it doesn't do auto caption. So you're paying $299 a year for that, and it's 50% off. I mean, seriously, when you talk about overpriced plugins, that takes the biscuit, really does. Like, and I just think, no, don't. Muse AI, I use that now instead, so I can upload my videos and there's no branding. It's got auto caption, quality settings, all of that. $5 a month, which I know is still $5 a month, but it's cheaper than Vimeo, Wistia, and all these other services. So $60 a year, right? And you know, $5 a month. What's that? You know, coffee, sandwich here or there. You know, a month is pretty good value. But anyone, and look, I don't know. Anyone
I
out
do
there
kind of agree with Elementor in that, you know, I don't really get this older type of philosophy of, you know, charging by number of installs, especially because when it gets to like 1,000, it just gets to ridiculous numbers that you're never going to get. Most people are not going to get to. So I do kind of agree. If you are going to, maybe just from a business point of view, I'm seeing it like if you're running a business on WordPress, this is your main thing, and you want, how can I differentiate my products, or how can I, you know, make these plans and make them affordable, but also make it worthwhile? I think features is probably the way to go, rather than just making it number of installs.
Do you know what? I agree with you because, like I just said earlier, we just hit over 100, so we're on 101 now, and it's like they always go up and down with clients, you know, in install, and I use them on subdomains and staging sites too, and then I install, uninstall, and all of that. But yeah, I agree with you. You know, like number of features and stuff like that would be good. By the way, I do want to let everyone know, and I hope none of you get annoyed by this, but over the next week and a half, not every day, but there will be the odd 1 minute, 2 minute video coming out where I might be promoting Black Friday deals. So obviously, you know, I have relationships with Code Snippets, with Atarim, with Termageddon. They've all reached out to me and I said, look, just send me a script and I'll happily pull together a 40-second, 1 minute video for you. So I am going to do that. I make nothing out of it. There's no affiliate link. There's no commission for me. There's nothing in it for me except these are products that I use or have used, and I don't mind doing a bit of a promo. If you don't like any Black Friday promos, don't watch it. Pretty damn simple. Just don't watch it. But I hope you like the video that came out today. Another Mark Harris spectacular with showing your company details on the WordPress dashboard. And we've got another one coming out tomorrow. Not going to say anything more about that one, but boy, is it good. Believe me, it's going to... Oh, I can't say how it made me feel when I saw that one last night.
That one was my, I give up with this one. I'm going to do that instead.
Artif knows that, like, you know, I've done a lot of code snippet videos in the last year or so. There have been times where I've probably killed about 7-8 hours on a Sunday back and forth with trying to get a snippet to work because I'm trying to create something out the blue. 50% of them never work and I get really angry. But when they do work and you test it and it works, it is such a nice, wonderful feeling. And I will be putting out a video tomorrow really short and simple. I'm basically saying to all of you, can you come up with a snippet using some AI tool or whatever that reduces the need for you to use a premium plugin, or maybe just any kind of plugin, so that you can just, stick it in as a snippet, activate, deactivate as and when you wish. So I feel like the ability to create stuff is there for you.
The reason these have suddenly become so useful is because of, I am tool agnostic on this. So WP Codebugs or code snippets allow you to save your snippets to the cloud. So you can literally pull them in when you need them, use them, and then get rid of them again, which is fantastic. You don't have to go, oh, where did I save that snippet? Oh, there it is. Go to feed functions, plonk it. Bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I like. It's like the one I was doing. So I didn't have any intention of making any new snippets today.
Mark, your day is now planned with
no.
Imran.
What it was, I was actually doing something work related that pays me, and yeah, God damn it. And I thought, as I was asking ChatGPT for some maths, basically to work something out. It was to do with image scaling because, quite frankly, I'm tired and I couldn't be bothered to sit there with a calculator. And as I was doing, I thought, oh, this will make a handy snippet. So we might have another image resizing and scaling snippet coming our way soon as well.
Yeah. So there's a load of so we had one come out Monday, one come out today, another one tomorrow, and possibly another one later on. And I always like it, even if Mark pulled together a snippet and I was like, I'm not sure I'm convinced by if this is going to be worthy, probably won't do a video. But so far he's been coming up with some really nifty good stuff, and that's what I love.
The Imran's wisdom of the day snippet that every time you hit the dashboard loads up a new quote from Imran. that's the one I'm doing next. I can assure you.
But I just think, it's like right now I'm just speculating in my mind, like for instance, like can you imagine if, like, when you went, say, like, you're working with a client or whatever, and they can access the website as well because they've got admin access, whatever. If they could log in, or you log in, and like, say you got a task list of the stuff you're going to do or they want you to do. So a bit like Atrim, but it literally shows you your task list and you got a checkbox to say done, 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 not done, or whatever. And, that might be pushing, but it's almost like anything you can do whereby, I don't know, it just makes it easier to manage, like, a task list or something. But anyway, look, that's just me speculating now.
So who adds to it?
Well, so that's where it gets, like, all over the place, because do you really want the client to... I've got a client, right? Every time he sends me an email, it's a caps lock. And I get really irritated when they have caps lock on.
It's only because we're old school and that means they're
yeah. Well, no, and then they halfway through the email go, I'm going to stop using caps lock because it feels like I'm shouting. And I'm like, why don't you do that from the start? At what point did you realize the caps lock felt like shouting?
Why are you not highlighting the text? And
that's what I do. I literally highlight the text for him, and he's like, oh, but yeah, no.
Oh, hi, Atif, by the way.
Hey, Mark. A bit under the weather, but all good otherwise.
Yeah, so there'll be a few promo videos coming out, but they're just because I'm just giving a bit of love back to some of the companies or products where I have a bit of a relationship with them, or I don't mind giving them a bit of a helping hand kind of thing.
Just as I left, Atif said Elementor are getting yeah. Why do you not think a better move for them would have just been to put the bloody price up?
Well, across the board, you think?
Well, just raise the price of the lowest package.
Just say, when they did
we've added bundles of new stuff into this since we first launched it. We're just going to put the price up by $10.
When they did that last year, there was a little bit of noise, but then I think what happened was everyone was like, well, prices are going up everywhere. And if you compared the price of Elemental to Bricks or Breakdance or other products, Elemental was still lower than quite a few of them. I mean, obviously bricks you get lifetime and it's unlimited and all of that. But for a single license, this is before Breakdance did their single pricing model. You got quite a lot with the Elemental. So yeah, they could have done that. What I think Elemental should have done, and this is all in hindsight, is rather than just send out an email the way they did, they actually should have done a webinar promo. They should have done something to say, because we had a roadmap event, didn't we? 2 or 3 weeks ago or something, didn't we? Or something like that. So
I don't
it should
know.
have
I've
been
not
done.
recovered from the Stratic webinar. I've not been to another one since.
It should have been done then, or they should have done something to let you know, or even, I mean, I personally think they should have waited until after Christmas. I would have waited until after Black Friday.
What are the
Waited
optics
until
of
after
doing it just
Christmas.
before Black Friday?
Yeah, I think what they
Yeah, I
should
know,
have
just
done
before Black
is, in
Friday as well.
fact,
That's
I
the
would
funny
even
thing.
say you let people know about it in January, but you don't do it until April the 1st. So you give people 3 months' notice. What you've basically given everyone is like, what, 3
Well,
weeks?
you could have tied it into Black Friday actually to say this is a new plan,
Yeah.
and this is the normal price, like 99.
Yeah.
But for Black Friday, it's going to be 59, and then after Black Friday, it's going to go up to 99.
Which is
they
actually
just
what they
had
did last
another
year.
plan, or
That is actually what they did last year.
Oh, is it?
Before,
So they did
yeah,
last year.
'cause they literally said, I think, on Black Friday, no, the day after Black Friday, it goes up to 59 from memory. So
Right.
it's
Okay.
like saying up
the other
until
thing
this
they could
point.
have done is, again, they could have just introduced another plan that was like, do you need Elementor but without any WooCommerce integration? Well, we've now got this version
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what someone. Yeah,
a
that's what I
different
mentioned.
price,
Someone
or
said.
a bit like, I mean, okay, the jet engine pick and choose what you need pricing thing is a bit of a pain in the what's it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, there are other options, but
Yeah. So I feel like I don't want to say drop the ball, but I think they manhandled the ball a little bit. I think I think the decision making there is like, I'd love to know how they came to that final decision with that. Davis just says it could have been done with a big event related to a roadmap. Then yeah, and that's the other thing as well, right? I was literally talking about this about 2 days ago or last week, or even was it 2 days ago? Well, one of the days, about how we're told about the global classes in January, but we've not actually seen anything happen yet.
we saw them demonstrated, did we not?
Not properly. Not properly. It felt like a demo, but it wasn't. I feel like it was just like, this is what we could have, but it wasn't actually like live or anything, or even beta. Then we had in middle of July, they said we're going to do the taxonomy filter, make it better than what they released. We then got the multiple selection yesterday in the beta, which I think is not that good. We don't know about the global class. So really, just like Davis said, if you're going to announce this and you're now saying, there's going to be certain features that might be coming out in the future, which unfortunately you might have to pay for on the higher plan, whatever. This is now the time when you really want to be saying the global classes is coming in January, or yeah, we've done the taxonomy filter, but we've got a bit more of a roadmap for it. Because if you look at the roadmap, I hope this is making sense, though, if anyone's not seen their roadmap. If you look at the roadmap, nearly everything they said they were going to do is now done, or kind of done. And I think they've only got 2 things left now, the global classes and something else. It wasn't a major thing.
When's CSS Grid going back onto it so they can actually make it usable?
Well, I don't think there is anything more I don't think there's any more development of it, which when it first came out, we all got excited. And I think that day I went and said, yeah, but I have to now stick in a formula to do the span. You should have it there as a setting that I could just pick and whatever and do it.
That's friendly girl. No, that's not me.
No,
At least I don't
that's
think
not
it's
him.
right.
That's not him.
It's not
No,
me.
no. Mark's is like, I think Mark's got like a triple X in the URL or something like that at some point.
Yeah, it just takes you straight off to my OnlyFans.
Beard
Beard lovers everywhere.
So Mark Ware, I think this is Mark Ware, if I've got your surname right. So from a business point of view, costs are going up, so prices will. Very good question. Companies that offer lifetime, I'm still surprised that Bricks haven't switched away from that. I thought they might have done that by now. So they still have the lifetime unlimited websites. If Bricks were to switch to you now pay annually, I mean, even if they said you can still have as many websites as you want, but now you pay annually for that privilege. A lot of people, new customers, by the way, because everyone else would be grandfathered in. I don't think a lot of new customers would be bothered by that. They'd be like, well, that's like Elemental. You pay each year, right? And you get 1,000 licenses, whatever. So it's not a problem.
Here's the thing. As much as we all talk about and love Bricks, and as much as we think it's massively gaining in popularity, we're looking at it in a very small bubble.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think the numbers they've sold probably would leave us going, oh, is that all?
Do you know something?
So keep the LTD until they get a critical mass that makes Bricks is being talked about, not just in the Bricks community or in Web Squadron or WP Tuts, but is suddenly spoken about everywhere until they've got enough budget to do some marketing. They've paid all of these are the things we definitely want to get done before we can really push this, then change it. Actually, I think and breakdance usage. You see the polls. What's the best builder? Bricks winning it's like 8 out of 10 cat owners who expressed a preference, said their cat preferred.
I'm going to come on to that. I'm going to come on to everything you're saying.
Of 17 people.
Right. I'm going to come on to that. So Dave just says that Bricks said they're switching their plans after they redesigned their website.
I read that today.
I think they're redesigning with breakdance, and then we'll see how it goes from there. No, but right. So a lot of you know probably by now that I am very analytical and I analyze everything. Okay. It is so obvious that when some votes and awards come out, some people are going to be telling their communities, go and vote for this, go and vote for this plugin, go and vote for our group. So there will be some people that will easily achieve 20, 25% of the vote share for their inner circles and whatever baloney, right? Yeah. And you kind of go, yeah, I wonder how big you actually are. I do let you know about the awards, but I make very clear whenever I do the post, I'm not telling you to vote for me. Vote for who you believe in and want to, but I'm letting you know this is here for you to vote. I'm not asking for petty votes or, oh, we're going to vote for you, Imran. No, I don't want that. I have been researching, because I love to research, for the last 6 or 7 months, how some YouTube channels are growing in terms of subscribers. And I can tell you now that some people that solely work on Bricks, their sub increase rate is very low, like supersonic low. If you're Elemental, you get good growth rate. If you're Gutenberg, that is starting to get traction now. That is getting better and better. So if you have any channels out there that focus on Gutenberg and stuff, generate press and all of that, they have pretty good growth. You look at the ones with Bricks, right? You look at the ones with Bricks. Some people, it's taken nearly 6 odd months to go from 11,000 subs to 12,000 subs. You can pretty much guess where I'm going with that. So
I think
the market. Sorry, I was going to say the market share of it is like it is small pie at the moment.
I may be wrong though in what I'm saying, but I do think Bricks, and especially like the creators that promote Bricks, they really make it. This is a professional builder for professionals. Yeah. So that's quite a niche in itself. Whereas Elementor Breakdance, they don't say that and they don't promote that. They're like, we're a builder for everyone.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to do anything, we're there for you. So obviously they're going to reach a wider audience. And
exactly.
They're trying to target. So it makes sense in that way that these are the builders that people will come across. I don't know if Bricks themselves want to be portrayed in this way. I don't know, or if they're just being portrayed by other people in this way. But Being sold as this is for the professionals only. Don't use it if you're not a professional.
You are right, and I feel like that's how you kind of slightly shoot yourself in the foot a little bit. And that's why I actually get a little bit irritated whenever I see people doing that comparison. Like I feel like if you're going to use bricks and you're not used to like page building, jumping into bricks is gonna take you longer to learn, because I feel like you got to have a bit more know-how about classes and CSSs. Now you can learn it. There's no doubt you can learn it, but I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like you're going to make more mistakes before you get things right. You're going to go back and forth a bit. Even I had to when I first switched to bricks. I was like, oh, hold on. You know, whereas, and if I got a client website and the client goes, I don't want a monthly maintenance plan, I'm going to go off on my own. If I give them a bricks website, I'm pretty damn sure they're going to be calling me the next day with, what about this and what about that? And how do I do this? And I changed one thing and it affected every heading because they didn't deactivate the class, the yellow bit. Oh, you know, kind of thing. So, whereas with Elementor, I'm not saying it's piss easy, but classic story I have is like, you know, I had clients that were aged in their 80s. No lie, right? They were in their 80s managing an age like an age concern type of website in Newcastle. I don't have to talk to them and they don't have to talk to me. You give them a 1 hour session and away they go, kind of thing. So ease of use can play a part. I feel like Mark's going to say something there. I feel like Mark's he's got this thinking face on.
It's a bit like, I mean, there's courses out there for sort of web design for beginners using bricks. Is that not a bit like turning up at school at 5 years old and your first class is on calculus?
Yeah, do you know what? So I'm not going to name
so
any, right?
I've 20 years, give or take, probably a bit more in and around web design.
I would have said more, Mark. I would have said more. I would have gone with like 80.
I'm sure. But, you know, so I've gone from, you know, I've seen the progression from we did everything this way and pixels, and then you slowly introduce new things and learn it. But now you dump, you know, you're dumping somebody in. I mean, CSS wasn't a thing.
I know.
So, you know, it started out basic and it's built and it's grown and new features have been added and we've learnt about them slowly and steadily. Somebody starting now. So yeah, why not let them learn in well, whatever they like, how they like.
I agree. I agree.
I totally agree with this.
There's no doubt there are more correct ways than others of doing things. And there are ways that mean your code is better and it's more this and it's more that. But if you're there, I'm going to build myself a website because it'd be cool and it'd be for my kids' under 7s football team and it's just going to be simple and basic. Are you really going to want to watch 40 hours of YouTube videos to become an expert?
Well, it's like
clamp and variables and
CSS frameworks and all of this and all of that. And it's almost like, even, I mean, I'll let Artib come in a minute, but even like, I know I go on about clamp calculators a lot, but deep down, you don't have to do that. You can if you want.
I don't use that thing on any of my
you don't have to. You can just go through the breakpoints and put your values in and it will jump to it. And that's fine. If you want the slide, you can have the slide. It's like, we can recommend it, but you don't have to. And as long as it does
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Artib, you're going to say something.
This is a topic that was actually really discussed in the podcast, and I totally agree with it. Just because, you know, WordPress isn't the only thing that, you know, I use personally. Yeah, I use a lot of other things I've developed outside of WordPress with things, and I'm seeing, if I start from when I started now, the number of like frameworks in general, like PHP frameworks, CSS frameworks, you know, JavaScript frameworks, they've just skyrocketed. Yeah. And now if you're someone new coming into it, you don't learn the fundamentals. They're all built on fundamental things. So they're all built on like the languages, core languages, PHP, JavaScript. You're not learning these. You're learning like the hot one right now is React. Yeah, let's say React is something everyone's kind of vaguely familiar with, even if you don't know React. But it's like jumping in to learn React if you don't know what JavaScript is and you don't. But it's built on that's the fundamental language. And I think this is a danger that we're going into with just learning frameworks without actually knowing.
It's what's the flavour of the month, isn't it?
So you can move on from that though, because give it a couple of years and people won't be worrying about frameworks and they won't be worrying about what it's built on. They'll be worrying about what prompts they're putting into their AI tool.
Absolutely.
So, but the important thing here is for us here who say, well, okay, we're designers, we've actually got to stay on top of that. We can't just say, oh, AI, that's we've got to, because it's quick.
Oh God, is it? I mean,
it's quick.
I mean, up until I started using ChatGPT, so we're going back a year now, I never ever considered myself to be sat there devising snippets, because I used to know a bit of JavaScript, massively rusty on it now. I can take a bit of code and inspect it and go, well, what about this and what about that? But it's got to be built so I can go and tinker with it. But build from scratch, I'm just not equipped to do that. But now, I mean, I'm sure there's loads of people out there. By the way, Mark, I mean, without ChatGPT, is it something that you would have got? Would you have ever gone into developing snippets? No, and that's the beauty of what the AI is, isn't it? The prompt, the power of the prompt.
I guess the only thing is, I know when I ask it to do something, I actually know what I want it to do. It's not some sort of vague, wishy-washy prompt. when it doesn't work, I've got some sort of a clue. But not much of a clue. And I think this is the takeaway from this. Anybody watching here can, if they've got an idea,
absolutely
give it a try.
I mean, I've just lost count the amount of snippets of stuff I put out, which literally was me. You got to go through the pain of experimenting and testing. You got to make sure you do it on a test site. Be careful, right? Don't break an existing production site. But and you will lose your temper with ChatGPT. Like literally, I paste in code and say, just say yes. Do you understand this?
No, it then gives you.
I go, right, now add a little bit at the end. And then it adds it in the middle. I go, no, at the end. And it adds it. And I go, no, give me the full code. And then it gives me some. I go, no, this is not the code. New window. Just say yes. Do you understand? And you literally are like that. I go, flipping heck, you.
I find the biggest problem is when you want because you've been doing loads of changes, please just give me the full code. And you then just get loads of placeholders in there and you're just so tired. You're just, come on.
I'll tell you the bits I hate is when it then says, okay, here's the code. Now go and create a brand new folder in WP config. Now go and I'm like, no, just I want it in one code snippet. I don't want to have to stick folders here and there, just one. And then it gives you something more. You kind of like, you have to just let it go and come back the next day. And then the next day with the same prompt, it gives you it. But of course, I think at the end of the day, no matter how much time you lose, there is something really fun when you crack it. And that's what I got to say about some of the snippets that Mark's come out with as well. Like when it works, you just go, whoa. And this is something that behind the scenes, Artif will know this, that people involved in code snippets, there's this huge opportunity for so many of you to contribute. And the idea is that if you pull together a bit of a snippet and you're happy to share it with me, I will obviously do a video and I will be giving you credit. I mean, right now, Mark is like super famous. I mean, his face is everywhere.
Yeah, thanks for that. Luckily, I can shave this off and I'll be anonymous again.
I mean, I've got photos, and I was literally this morning going, right, what AI tool shall I put these through to get some like full body images, like of Mark as a cyborg or something?
For full body images.
I'm going to let AI do it for me. I'm going to say, just, I don't know.
Do you remember the old Mr.
Generate something for him, generate Mark dancing or something. I don't know if we can get an animated GIF up or something, But yeah, by the way, I am only going to be live for another 2 minutes because I've got a client call at 1 o'clock. Client call, just stuff like that. But I want to say that today's live chat has been quite interesting because of the topic about Elementor and all of that. And I'm hoping that anyone who's watching who was getting like really irritated by the email, I hope this has kind of clarified a bit that your existing websites will be fine. If there aren't any new features, though, you might miss out on that. But 9 times out of 10, I bet you're not going to be bothered. You know, so if you've got existing...
Haven't Elementor just gone and made their life more complicated with more potential?
I think they do. I do.
On their, we're not including that in this version, and it's just all going to get a bit messy, isn't it, for them?
But perhaps it could be considered a marketing strategy that they're doing this in the way that due to this, I guess, conflicting, you could say, change in pricing, what's happening is Elementor's getting lots of attention now, although it's negative partially.
It is a very good point.
It could be considered that lots of people are now going to look at Elementor, and then it could be just before Black Friday that they're going to drop in a discount or maybe something, a new feature.
Could be a good strategy, yeah. You make a really, really good point. You could. Artie, we should get Verdi to put out something that says like, if you use code snippets, it actually shares all your bank details. And then you go, only joking.
Yeah.
we were only having a laugh.
Put the price to like $2,000. It's Black Friday sale. It's gone back down to like 20.
Okay. You know, don't worry. But no, I do. Yeah, there is a possibility of that because when you create a bit of noise over the next few days, I think more and more people, when they really look deep into it and you have that soul searching thing, they go, well, actually, it's not that bad completely. It can work in their favor as well, kind of thing.
Maybe they're just trying to be like the Apple of the WordPress space. You know, when Apple come out with something new and they change something, they take off a headphone jack or they do something, everyone is like, I hate them, Apple's so stupid, why are they doing this? But then you end up buying their product 10 times more because you're like, oh yeah, actually it was the right thing to do, and yeah, I love it now, the new product. And they're trying to be like the Apple
that
of it.
Is a wonderfully good point. So the iPhone 15's obviously now used a USB-C port. I've got tons of Lightning adapters, but I was like, well, okay, it's not that major a problem really. So you hate it for a day. You kind of ponder about how does it really fully impact on me, and then you kind of just go with it, right? You know, and every time Apple bring out a new iPhone, the cost of it is more than the previous version or whatever. And you kind of go, well, do you really want it? Fine, you go and pay for it and get on with it. And Michael has now gone and written Marky Full Monty Mark. No, I think he is. I saw him get up earlier. He is wearing jeans or trousers or something down there.
I am.
He is fully
I'm just going to pick up on a couple of points very, very, very quickly, because Friendly Girl was talking about security and code snippets.
Yep.
So yeah, okay, of course there is a risk, and there's a suggestion: before you use one, put it into your array of choice and asking if it's secure. It does a pretty good job of checking. Yep. The second thing is nothing's secure. How many times have you had an email or looked at the iThemes report or patch stack report, and it's
and also what I will say though is any snippet. So all of the snippets I've been putting out, I then put it into Code Snippets Cloud. So even though I might do a video on it, and I've checked, so Mark's done his check. Then before I do the videos, I go and do my own checks as well on it. I then put it into Code Snippets Cloud, so it's publicly available, and that runs through some AI to check. And it also, like, if it detects that there might be like a vulnerability or some aspect of it, it does notify you of that. It might not tell you straight away. Sometimes it does. It might be 24 hours later, but it doesn't approve it within the Code Snippets Cloud repository until it's gone through that. So there is that extra level of check. But I completely agree.
Is that Code Snippets check-in Atif's work?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be tragic. It's going to be It's literally our teeth actually looking at it. The AI.
Yeah, there's no AI.
Right
it's
now,
just poor
AI.
it just really looks at it and he goes, "That's too long. We'll just approve it."
Will this get me closer to my Lamborghini?
This looks okay-ish. Yeah, fine.
Well, we'll let it go.
Just
You
go
know,
on then.
or you kind of go, well. At the end of the day, Birdie has to worry about it. Just approve it. Hit the tick. Who
No,
cares?
I think you both have covered that very well to say, yeah, fine. There is some extra things that we do on code snippets that are, I think, no one else does, and that we actually have some kind of a verification that goes through a process. It isn't just like we send a ChatGPT and say, oh, are there problems? We actually do have a bit more sophisticated than that. So it won't come up with flags. But the other thing as well, which Mark says, you know what? There's only so much we can even secure. We can't. That's why we don't 100% say everything is totally safe, because there'll always be something. And you know, if someone can get into your site, and do some things, I think the last thing you want to be worried about is code snippets. You've got bigger problems on your hands. You know.
Yeah. No, you're right. And Friendly Girl, you are right. I do feel like
yeah.
You've got to.
You should be aware of it. 100%. You should be aware of it.
And what I did with when Mark shared his codes, I put it through ChatGPT just to check there was no vulnerabilities, and then I went and stuck it in Chrome Bard as well. You know, so just to see what answers I get. But yeah, I do agree. I mean, in a perfect world, we'd all fully understand the code kind of thing. But I do think over time, the AI tools are going to get better and smarter. And you know, I mean, look, right? Okay, look at the code we put out on Monday. That's got Clamp Calculator, right, by Mark. One day, AI is going to take that code, and it will literally be like Skynet, and it'll all be due to Mark's code. So if there's any Terminators or John Connor coming back in time, right, there's your man right down there. Right, I can't even get my finger right. It's right down. I can't even get my finger right there.
Right.
That's the guy you need to get. All right, Marky Mark, the full Monty. Right, everyone, I'm going to shoot off now. I just want to get prepped up for a...
He's planning world domination, John B.
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just because as well the name Jake. It's actually not my real name. It's just a pseudonym. Yeah, I mean, my actual name is Manoa. So yeah, that was just
Minoa.
Manoa.
Ah, okay.
Manoa.
That is that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's why.
I'm not actually Atif. I'm not Atif. I'm Atif's uncle. You can see it says it right
Atif
there. I'm his uncle.
Because right now, right, if Atif is his uncle as well,
I'm his uncle. Yeah.
We just entered a whole predestination kind of loop paradox hole, right, where I don't even want to start going down how that's going to work out with who's the father and who's the brother and who's the kid and all of that. Let's not go there.
All
right, everyone, I'm going to say goodbye now.
Yeah.
Will I be back tomorrow on Thursday? I think I will be. And I'm sure there'll be more about Elementor and there'll be more views and opinions. But keep a lookout because we've got another Code Snippets video coming out tomorrow. Thanks to Marky Mark. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Right. See you later, everyone. Bye.
See you later, everyone.
See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.